Yep, you ready to roll.
Peace, family. What's going on? This is Brother Ben Rob. Welcome back to Keeping It 100. It's been a minute, been a while actually, and we back again. We had some issues, with the pandemic is just like everybody else. We lost some people, and it really hit hard emotionally, and we just had to take some time off and breathe, man. My man Henry Hart Jackson is in the building. Queensbridge is here. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying, my man? What's good?
peace. Glad to be here, no doubt. Peace, family.
Word.
Everything good.
Yes, General. Yes. I'm glad you back, man. I'm glad you well.
Glad to
We
be back.
we got the mask and everything. We
Doubt.
but at this point, we really don't need it. But we just letting you know. But
Get the
welcome
black
back,
delegate
everybody.
look up and popping.
Yeah. You know, I just want to start off by giving a shout out, to one of my best brothers, who we lost out in Left Rack City, man. My man Leon McKnight. You know, that was my dude, man. And he worked for the transit system in Left Rack, man, and in New York actually. He
Wow.
drove the bus out there in the Bronx, man. I remember some years ago, I had went out there, and when I went out there, I had went to go check him. I mean, it was the purpose of just visiting fam and visiting, people, certain heads, because I only have a little bit of time, you know what I'm saying, before I had to head back. So I went out there to the Bronx, man, and I went to where he drove his bus, man. I met him at the bus stop, and we sat. I was sitting on the bus with him. We talked for a minute, just back and forth with as he did his route, and
Right.
then we got out the bus. When he finally drove back to the depot out there in the Bronx, and now I chilled with him. Over at the in the lunchroom, whatever. He was just showing me around the depot. We
Right.
chilled for a while, and then I think we went out to I think we went to get something to eat or something. And then he drove me back to Harlem, over at the gym. I had to go to Planet Fitness before I went home. So he drove me back there, and we took a photo before I left. And I didn't even know that was going to be the last time I would see that brother. And with that photo that we took, and I took the photo and put it on Facebook when I came back to Charlotte. And then when he passed, I put that photo up, because, again, that was my dude, man. Very smart, intelligent brother, very kind hearted, shout out to his children. I remember his kids when they were small, man. Like, I mean, you know, I'm gonna miss that brother. Trust me, him
No
and
doubt.
Perry, y'all together now, Perry, one love, at one time they were really, really close. You know what I'm saying? So, I just want to say I love them brothers, and I love all of my left right fam, Big Bruce, Sebo, everybody, man. You know what I'm saying?
Left right. Iraq, right? That's what they call it.
Yeah, Iraq, most definitely.
Right. No
You
doubt.
know, um,
No
it's a
minority.
lot of us, man. And I just want to say to everybody, if I didn't say your name, that don't fucking mean I don't love you or whatever. Okay, I love all my left right fam. So
At this
know
point,
you
you
are.
never
You know
know.
me. You know I'm a genuine dude. But I just want to say once again, peace to him, and we love you, Leon, for real. And you
No
know, just crazy. And shout out to anybody who has lost
story
a
it
family
down.
member.
A lot of our soldiers, our brothers and sisters are dropping, with
Hmm.
um, question mark disease or pandemic or whatever they put out.
Yeah,
Is I was just telling some of my cousin today, we don't know anything. People sticking this vaccine in their arm, man. The
yeah,
natural history of man, have they come up with a vaccine in less than a year.
Right.
No, and they guinea pig in society,
Right.
changing up on things. I remember when COVID first started, they said don't wear masks because
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
they constantly changing the rules of the game with this thing. What scared me was when they called it a disease, then they said a virus. Like they kept changing up, like they couldn't identify what it was.
Right.
Still, they made it in a laboratory somewhere, so they do know what it is. But they keep reclassifying it, misclassifying it, and I don't know. And then saying "oops" later on, like no, don't do it that way, or don't do.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not going to be funny, but a few years from now, they're going to probably have those lawyer commercials like if you were one of the people that took the vaccine and
Yeah.
you jail, please give us a call and we'll handle your case. You
Right.
know, like people are not really thinking just because you're taking it now and nothing is really happening, don't mean it's not going to have side effects 3 or 4 years down the line.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what is going to be?
I remember when we did a podcast prior to us actually taking a pause, and we talked about what uh, President 45 at the time, he was saying stuff about how it was, it was, when the heat comes, it tends to weaken off in the heat, and he just saying it was a, it was the oxy, the club. What was it? What was the name of the hydroxychloroquine? He was saying that that was a blessing and all of that, and then all these people died,
Right.
in the meantime.
Probably had a few
All
that
these people
drink
passed.
bleach in his advice too that died
Yeah. I
possibly.
mean, now you got over 500,000 people have
Hmm.
passed away supposedly through a COVID related situation, supposedly, allegedly.
Right. You know
And,
that person.
you know, um, I just think it's one of the sickest things ever, man. And then now you talking about there's another variant, and my thing is, you know, um, why you want to keep this shit going on and on and on?
Hmm.
Because I thought this was very mysterious from the beginning.
Right.
When we heard about it, it was one thing to hear about it, but then the next thing you know, it just hits the states, and it just boom, it hit the states like rapidly.
Yes.
And I'm trying to figure out, well, damn, what is this thing? You know what I mean? And then, everybody, you can't even go to the hospital no more for the common cold because the common cold is the virus.
Yep. Right.
If you remember, um, even if you had even if you had uh, an allergic reaction or something, doing the pollen and everything like that, allergies,
Right.
that almost was taken as you may have the virus.
Right.
And then you had to go in, and in some cases they lied to people, making it appear as if they had the virus or they
Yeah.
had signs of the virus.
Yeah. Everything's
Which is
related. I believe the same way they handed out $1,400 or $600 stimulus, every COVID related in the death or sickness in the medical field has a stimulus check attached to it. They're not letting them know.
mm,
They're not going to come on and broadcast it. But logic
right,
dictates they're not getting regular death and sickness money.
right,
There's a stuff in there probably pulling from them. Not saying that all doctors are crooked, and they
mhm,
just want to profit off of death and sickness, but basically that's their job. That's what they do.
right,
They do profit off of that's their paychecks. Or hand actually the Hippocratic oath. They're supposed to heal and help people, but you have some people that can get jaded by that profession. And
right.
what's more important than some stranger in front of them becomes their mortgage or car payment.
Yeah, yeah,
Right now, they might be seeing just dollar signs with this whole thing.
yeah, yeah. And you know, sorry, I had something in between my two. But to me, to me, this is something I think we need to watch. We need to watch this very, very carefully because
Yes.
now they're trying to reopen. You know, oh, we're going to reopen the states. All of this. But my thing is, they're trying to get everybody to take this vaccine, right? So certain places, let's say, I would say this is just my prediction. Now, I could be 1,000% wrong with this, but
Hmm.
let's say, for example, you want to, I don't know, go to the amusement park or something like that, right? So you want to go to the amusement park, you want to bring your family and everybody with you. But now you got to show that you have gotten the shot,
Yes, indeed. That's the next level. The
right?
next.
And if you haven't gotten the shot, well, guess what? You can't come to the park.
Yep.
You want to take a boat ride with your family, for the summer or whatever. Guess what? If you can't prove that you've taken the vaccine, because this
Right.
is the way that they force you now to take the vaccine.
Right.
If
To
you can't
embarrass
prove, if you
coercion.
can't prove that you've taken the shot, then guess what? You won't be going on this boat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
But you got to
we
see
got to watch that.
society's already doing and complying to it because they're telling us you can't come in this store, you can't do XYZ without a mask. The vaccine is just the next level of compliance. You don't have to wear a mask, but you're not coming in here.
Yeah,
Matter of fact, at a point, and especially in New York, if you didn't have a mask and you was outside of your house, you was subject to get tackled and beat the hell up by the cops.
that's crazy.
Okay? Because it's harassment basically, and it probably was getting lawsuit. I saw a clip where they wrestled his mother down in front of her child in the train station because she didn't have on a mask. And if I'm not mistaken, a cop, one or two of the police officers, maybe more, didn't even have masks on themselves. It's like bringing out the Gestapo, but it's not
Yeah,
about the vaccine or it's about the fear, like we was talking about the other day. It's a fear factor.
yeah,
So you can fear people into compliance. This mask is like a test. It's a social test. That's why you have some people say, "I'm not wearing a mask." Whether they're right or wrong, they're exercising their American right, freedom, and right to do what the hell they want to do as long
yeah.
as they're harming nobody else. But guess what? They make you think that you're harming somebody else. But how are you? If the mask is supposed to protect us, everybody wearing the mask should live and shouldn't get sick, right? It shouldn't matter whether I'm wearing a mask or not. That puts my health in suspect.
And
So
they tell you, even though wearing the mask and even getting the shot is not going to protect you
nope,
from
just
getting
like
the virus totally, you still can get it. That's why
just
they tell you, even after you get the shot, still do take the proper precautions,
right.
right? So,
It's a false sense, like a placebo effect.
right.
People are thinking it's going to help them, but it's not. Same thing with the flu shot. You know how many people that I've been around? I've never taken a flu shot. Probably my parents didn't know as much. I can't remember having the flu or cold back as far as when I was 10 years old or something. I don't think like that. Thank God, not on
10
wood.
years old, damn.
Right. Yeah. I don't get sick, but once again, I don't put drugs in my body. I don't pop pills and get injections and all that stuff. If
Right.
anything, I'll drink a tea, or I'll drink liquor. That's
Hmm.
been my thing since the COVID started. People saying you are alcoholic. True, it might be, but guess what? Alcohol on your hands, alcohol in your body, you're
Yeah.
probably killing the virus. So
Yeah.
how does that suggest that you put it on your hands to kill the virus, but not in your body? I be telling people, I joke about it, but it's probably some truth to it. Why do you think pharmacies and the liquor stores was kept open during the
Yeah.
pandemic?
Yeah. I know here, you got something called the ABC store,
Right, the
right?
ABC, right. That's what they
Man,
sell.
dude, they was online, males, females, they was online. The height of the virus, they online buying alcohol.
Mm-hmm. I
But
bet
you
you
couldn't
know
go
one of
into
those people got
church.
sick,
You couldn't
probably.
go into church. You
Mm-hmm.
couldn't sit in the mosque.
Right.
You could go stand online for alcohol.
You can go get alcohol. Right. Yes, indeed. But that's part of the plan too.
Yeah.
Freedom of speech being taken. All these things that we see in these George Orwellian books and movies that they created
Mhm.
that we read is coming true. Big Brother, the Thought Police. Look at Facebook. Where do they put you when you express your thoughts? And it's kind of a strongly opinionated. They put
Right.
you on Facebook. They're silencing you. Censorship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's not funny that some people come back off of it joking. It's not funny that they're simulating a jail and putting on people.
Yeah.
And the thing is, there's a lot of people it's not. I remember I made a comment on a nigger hunting license. They
Mhm.
allowed the nigger hunting license to be on there, but when I made a comment about it, because on there, I think they said the expiration date is December 31st, and the season starts back January 1st or something. Like
Wow.
they didn't even give a nigga. I was just made a joke, and I was on Facebook jail.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Like just for making a joke comment about not even something hateful, but that's suppression of opinion. That goes against the Constitution. So
Right, right.
Facebook really is anti-constitution in a sense. You look at it, or
Well,
anti what?
that's because you probably got a lot of people with a lot of money now in
Mhm.
Facebook. And now those people with the money and the influence, now they want to try to lead the way on how Facebook should be used.
Eh, well,
Now I'm not saying that Facebook shouldn't say, look, man, you can't be telling people to go out and kill folks and do this, that, and third. But what I'm saying is, you got a lot of people with money that use Facebook, a lot of companies, a lot of, and they want to be the ones to direct the pathway on where Facebook should go and how it should be used.
right.
So,
Possibly. My opinion,
whatever
I
that
think
is.
it could have some influence, CIA, FBI, some governmental systematic police force or policing
Yeah,
force.
you already know police or law enforcement been all over Facebook. Like
Right.
that's what they do.
It's like
You
a
know?
social experiment. It's
Yeah.
basically a big social experiment. Even that light bulb. You know how many people turned on each other and lost friendships and family members because they're like, oh, they're not liking this, or they're not. It's like little children, like Bloods and Crips. Like you gonna fight over colors, brothers, sisters. Like are you fighting over a like button? You think that this is just happenstance? This is something they create to divide us, divide and conquer. You think that is something that's nice, but if you create something, an obstacle you put between two people, and it can turn their relationship or the momentum of it,
hmm
quite possible that it was designed to do that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
The guys of being something that was beneficial for you, or
hmm
something that you might, appreciate. That's how they always do. They just slip something in, make it seem like with in New York with the what do you call it, the tokens. Remember when we used to use tokens in New
Yep.
York?
Yep. Yep.
Ease that out. Now you have no options. You can't use a token, but they gave you one ride for free, or they gave you little benefits. Oh, I'm not gonna buy a token. I'm gonna use a card. Now you don't have the option to use a card.
Yeah.
We were saying about the
Yeah.
vaccine. It's gonna come to a point where they're saying now, oh, it's for you, it's to help you. At a point, you won't have an option, like you said, to get in the building, to go on a boat ride.
Yeah.
They're gonna embarrass people into it. Like, no, you can't go. You can't get married the same way you need a marriage certificate. You need a COVID certificate to get married. Now
Yeah.
they're gonna force you into a situation where you
Just-
can't even get married without the COVID license. Like
yeah.
it's deep. They're gonna do like a little nudge persuasion at first, and then it's gonna become like Hitleritarian. But to remember, to me, this whole thing is like a Hitleritarian drug, a factor. Hitler didn't come out and say, "Let's start killing Jews." He started pushing them aside a little bit, making it uncomfortable, step by step, and then it became obligatory, mandatory that we start punishing and incarcerating and gassing these Jews. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was stages. But at first, it was kind of like a polite nudge, and then it became something else, and it intensified.
Right.
It'd be the same with this thing here,
Yeah.
which
I
is
understand.
there's a lot of freedoms. The Constitution being thrown out the window. What it
Right.
already has, with all of these different things, the Patriot Act and all these other things they bring out one by one. This is no longer America as we knew.
As we knew. I mean,
Right.
it ain't never really been right. Period.
It's, the foundation has always been crooked, and that's why I say I don't know. It's like a condemned building to me. It needs to be torn down and reconstructed.
Right.
The
Right.
Constitution, the laws, the police force, all of these have negative beginnings and background,
Right.
and critical. How you separating from Britain, talking about freedom, but you over here got slaves signing freedom papers and stuff.
hmm
Not to free the slaves, just to free yourself. Constitutions and men are created equal, and you go home and beat your slaves. Like
Right.
what
Right. 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 Exactly.
hypocrisy is that? But this country is based on hypocrisy.
And always been.
Yes, yes, indeed, and that
So,
needs to change.
so now check this out. I wanted to pull this up.
Uh huh.
This is from the Hill at hill.tv.
Uh huh.
This was February 27th, 2021. This article. House Democrats passed sweeping 1.9 $1 trillion COVID-19 relief bill with a minimum wage hike. Now,
Mhm.
this was supposed to happen with the minimum wage hike, but it didn't happen with the
Right.
minimum wage hike, I believe. It says House Democrats passed their sweeping 1.9 trillion coronavirus aid package in a party line vote early Saturday morning, advancing President Biden's top legislative priority. Lawmakers passed the bill 219 to 212 with the Democrats and Reps Jared Golden from Maine and Kirk Schrader of Oregon joining all Republicans in voting against it, right? It says Democrats could afford up to 4 defections with their narrow House majority. So basically, we already know that the Democrats went on ahead and passed this bill anyway,
Right.
okay, even without Republican help. It says the bill's passage comes days after the COVID-19 death toll in the U.S. surpassed 500,000 people. More contagious virus variants remain a threat to containing the pandemic. Now, I just want to stop right here.
Mhm.
Um, 500,000 people died from this, probably more by now because we're airing this now, but probably had a few more people that have died from this thing.
Pretty sure.
Um, Now they're saying that there are more variants to keep this thing going. Okay, so now there's going to be more phases of the virus in different forms.
Right.
Now, tell me what you think about that, man. I mean, do you think they're interested? Do you think they're interested in uh, killing the virus, stopping this thing, or do you think they're interested in keeping it going? Are we going to see? Are we going to still going to be going through this year, next year, and the next 10 years? What are we doing here? Because it seems like the focus is on the coronavirus, but
Uh-huh.
you got cancer, you got AIDS, you got what is it, diabetes, you got all these other things that are happening to people, and but the coronavirus seems to be the focus.
I think they just opened the floodgates on the acknowledgement of there being a coronavirus actually that exists. I believe the coronavirus been here for at least 5 years. Now,
Yeah.
call it coronavirus, and your auntie, your grandmother, or people with pre-existing situations
Hmm.
probably was dropping like flies, but we didn't notice because they didn't label it.
Hmm.
My brother, like with people like, well, very limited, but like Bernie Mac and certain people called sarcoidosis.
Right.
A lot of people have been developing respiratory illnesses,
Right.
but if we call that, they would just label it at that point in time pneumonia or bronchitis or whatever, or,
Right.
different things. What was the other one? Respiratory, I forget, but you know, so what's been happening, whatever they released in society, like I said, once again, to me, is like a Hitlerian disease that affects people with disabilities and the elderly first. And we don't notice when they die. We're like, okay, oh, another old person dead, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sickly anyway. So without a label placed on it, we just take it as a common death where they had complications, And that's
Yeah.
probably what doctors told us for the last
Right.
5 years. Thing that scared me, brother, is when I went on and I Googled the amount of deaths in previous years, I went back a ways. It was always 2.5 million, the same number, the same. Now that's just for the United States, not globally. Just in the United States, I kept Googling. I don't know if something was wrong with my phone or not, but I hit the year 2005,
Right.
10, 20, went back to 1995. Every year is like somebody's number crunching, like, hey, let's keep these numbers right. Let's keep it at 2.5. And if you ask me, I think 2020 they undercut the number, but it was still about the same. I could be wrong. Y'all can Google it yourselves and see. At a point, I think it red flag because I started trying to pull up more years, and it kept rerouting me and sending me somewhere else, and not giving me any more information
Mm.
on the amount of actual deaths annually in the United States alone, in North America. But yeah, will we have this going on years from now? Is my opinion that it will. Like I said, to me, it's a Hitlerian disease. Like instead of gas chambers, they're just
Yeah.
infecting people that really could have a nice, healthy lifespan with proper medication, relaxation, rest, sun, but it's weakening the physical conditions. It's not a automatically you're not walking into a building and getting gassed, but in a sense, it's like, yeah, the air you breathing is killing you. Then what's the difference of a gas chamber? One is just quicker. You know
Right.
what I mean? But and then you got to look at too the disability. You know how much they're profiting right now. Other than stimulus, you ask where some of the stimulus money coming from. It's coming from they don't have to give elderly and sick people disability checks anymore because they're killing a lot of them off. You know what I mean? Like the way that these people think that the government and the system is evil. They
Yeah.
want little babies, the same ones that gave blankets full of measles and sick nonsense to the Native Americans here are the same ones that will poison your child and your elderly and your tribe for
Yeah.
profit. And it's evil. So, and then you all know the profit is in the treatment, not in the cure. That's why probably a lot of these healers, holistic healers, are disappearing. It's not part of the plan. They don't want it to be cured. They
Right.
want us to keep taking this vaccine. How much you want to bet? A couple of years from now, they're gonna say you got to get another updated vaccine shot because that one is not as powerful as the new one we have, an updated version. It's gonna
What?
stop. It's not gonna stop. But people have to
What?
ask themselves, I would trust this. If they would have came up for a cure or a vaccine for the common cold and flu, then I might have more trust in this whole vaccination. In less than a year, they came up with some hamster disease, like
Right. Right.
disease that they now sticking in everybody's arm and everybody foolishly sticking their arm out there.
Yeah.
Let
Yeah.
alone the fact that they've been telling you in a lot of these futuristic movies that they're going to be microchipping everybody. But
Yeah.
all the people that have been saying that, they've been saying along with it that they're going to create a disease and make you want to come in and have to come in for your own safety. And that's when they're going to microchip you. You know what I'm saying?
And
So,
I was thinking something. Right? Like, and I was thinking this maybe a few weeks ago or so.
mhm,
I said to myself, well, damn, man, this all they got to do is keep following this same path that they follow.
that's it.
And if they wanted to do something like this,
Hmm.
like what you talked about with the microchips and everything, they could do
Hmm.
this easily. And they can do it by force.
Yeah.
In their own way, they can do it by force. They can say, well, listen, we're gonna make it mandatory. So you're gonna put this out here first,
Hmm.
create the fear,
Right.
right? Get
Resistance.
everybody focused on the fact that this, and you gotta have something to create the fear. So you gotta have what? Death.
Yep.
You gotta sacrifice lives,
Hmm.
right? Here's my thought on this. My thought is they've been working on this for a long time, man. This is nothing that just popped up.
Not at all.
They studied this, and they know the effects of viruses or whatnot, especially if you have a pre-existing condition or whatever the case. To me, look, some people may not believe that. Oh well, why would they study something like this? Why would they, dude? They will study any damn thing. They will study how many times you open up a door at the hotel, or how many times you open up the back door and walk in with your left foot first.
Right.
How many people do it? How many young people do it? How many old people do it? You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
it's all about trying to get that data and
Statistics.
information so they can move
Yes.
to the next step of doing whatever it is that they want to do.
Hmm.
So why wouldn't they study this first, put it out there, create the fear, create the problems, and then say, okay, we want to implement this now because we got to give you the shot now because we got this going on. People so scared to death. Yeah, sure, why not? I'll take it. Now I'm not saying everybody wants the shot. Of course, everybody don't want it, but for those that don't want it, they're gonna make you take it.
Well,
Okay,
see, that
well
was
guess
right.
what? We're gonna open up the city now. We're gonna open up your state, what have you. But guess what? In order for you, just like I said earlier, in order for you to have certain benefits, you got to be able to prove that you've taken the shot.
Right.
You see?
Right.
And that's important, man. We got to watch how these people are moving. Because if they want to decide to put a chip in you or whatever the case may be, they can do it. All they got to do is just keep maneuvering and manipulating like they're doing.
Actually, they'll create an underclass, like it's in the Bible and certain old texts, where the future will come with the mark of the beast. You won't be able to buy, sell, or eat without the mark. and they say it'll be placed in the hand or the forehead or whatever they're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, yeah.
But you look at it, they'll create an underclass. If they say all to get a job to work, it's mandatory that you got that shot.
Look, they certain professions right now.
Yes.
You got to take the shot in order to work.
So guess what it creates? Like I was watching a movie Demolition Man. Those people that lived in the underneath the subterraneans. That class was created. The elite now, or the middle, upper middle class, or regular middle class. You got to think about it. If you're not able to work, if you
Right,
don't have the COVID shot and you refuse to take it, now you become a subterranean class, a underclass of
right,
basically homeless people. You got the elite right now. You got some people middle class that refuse. Automatically, you'll drop to the last rung on the ladder or to the bottom of the totem pole
hmm
because you're not there's a public health safety situation at hand, and basically you'll just be like one of these homeless people you see sleeping on the streets
yeah,
until you comply. It's about basically forced compliance, but at first it's going to seem like, oh, it's your choice. Yeah, it's your choice. It's like choosing whether I shoot you or stab you in the head. You know what I mean? Like both choices are going to have negative outcomes,
right,
but is it really a choice? It's not really a choice if you think about it.
right.
When you come down to that, because the outcome is still going to be the same, death. You know.
Now, tell me what you think
Uh-huh.
about this unemployment and stimulus, because you know that what they did, they gave out $1,400 for individuals, and it was supposed to be 400 weekly unemployment insurance benefits,
Mhm.
but they changed that. They knocked it back down to 300, which I
Right.
think was so retarded because we need that money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but you're gonna knock it back down, whatever. Then you got 8.5 billion in funding for the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention to distribute, track, and promote public confidence in COVID-19 vaccines.
Mhm.
Then, now here's my thing. How come they didn't give us the 600 in unemployment?
Mhm.
We needed
Right.
that. That's what was helping everybody.
Right.
You know, you give 1,400 for individuals, but is 1,400 really enough when you got people that's been suffering since last year?
Unemployed because of COVID. They didn't just
Right,
wake up one morning and say, "Hell, I ain't going to work no more," because is a national, a global pandemic that's been affecting people, losing jobs, changing the economy. So basically, it's not our fault. And tell you the truth, if everybody wisened up and started a suit, I don't even know if it's a civil suit or whatever against the government or the system or whether it's Trump. I don't know. But like, yo, my grandparents are dead. My mother and father is dead. But society is suffering, and it's not our fault. We didn't create the COVID. We didn't unleash this on society. It's not a tsunami. It's not an act of God. That disease was created, has a patent on it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody,
yeah,
like the movie Outbreak, somebody created it. They talk about weapons of mass destruction over in the Middle East, and that was a weapon of mass destruction. It's a biological weapon that was
right.
unleashed upon us. Now we're all victims. We're
I
all
think they should. I think they should have gave everybody $25,000 a piece. That help you pick up.
close to
Yeah,
40 acres and a mule. But like we were saying the other day, not only that, but financial investors. We're going to show you how to flip
right.
this legally
This
into
would have been a perfect time to right the wrongs. Do
yes.
things way different from how you used to do it before.
Yeah,
You
people running
understand what
around
I'm
paying
saying?
for $1,400. 14 days from now, you're not gonna have none of that money. That's like
Right.
tax money. It's
1,400.
but
fourteen
yeah,
hundred, and your electric bill has been past due since last year.
right.
So you giving me 1,400? That's what's going to cover it. For some, no.
Oh, you know what they kind of turn a society into? Almost the mind state of like a drug addict and a pimp. The government, your Uncle Sam is your pimp, and basically like
Big
you
pimp.
just feeding you a little bit at a time to keep you hooked.
Yeah.
Like here, take this little bit, you'll be all right. But when that high wear down or that money wear down, then you're gonna be back for more. Like, yo, I'm not. Then they're gonna give you a little bit more or whatever. They'll come up with something new, and then they're probably gonna continue the stimulus check, like I said with New York, how they had the tokens. But
Yes.
if you comply and take the vaccine, then you're you're basically you can sign up for a program that you'll get certain benefits, stimulus benefits ongoing. You know what I mean?
Right.
To be the nice juicy package for everybody to stick their arm out and get vaccinated.
What I want to know is
Mhm.
what I want to know is how can we, and I know there's plenty of people out there. I had looked and I think I looked online and I have ran into um, a kind of like a medicine that the Nation of Islam has,
Right.
for you to take to help you strengthen your immune system and keep your body
Hmm.
strong to get you through COVID. I think that's what we need for us. You
Yeah.
know, we need our own vaccine,
Hmm.
which is made up of minerals, vitamins, antioxidants, all of those things that can help us fight against this thing naturally. Because I'm absolutely sure that
Like
we can fight this thing without taking the vaccine. I know
look,
we can.
the pharmaceutical industry outlaws all those different things and all those people, or they mysteriously die or disappear. It's a war. The pharmaceutical industry, Fauci and all that, the CDC, they're gangsters. You talk about, yo, they're the illest gangsters. Forget
Man,
Al Capone and all. These people make these people disappear and die. Healthy people, and will explain it away. Like we don't know what happened. Yo, anybody that goes against their matter of fact, you think about it. I just thought about it. They've been poisoning the land for a while with this GMOs and stuff, genetically
right,
modified. So they're not only poisoning the air, they're poisoning the dirt. Most of our nutrients and minerals come from the ground, from our food. You don't have to take a single injection of nothing. You eat vitamin E in pasta, you eat vitamin D in food. You can just eat the right healthy diet and never get sick. But guess what? Now you got babies born with cancer because the parents are eating GMO foods. I saw a movie about it where the mother had to go to a farm to a natural, like he was raising natural chickens, wasn't injecting them with steroids, and
mm,
all his fruits and vegetables were natural. And the government was suing him. He was suing the
yeah,
government because they was planting GMOs miles away from his farm. This true story.
right,
I think Danny Glover played the farmer in it, and the GMO seeds were affecting and infecting his seeds, turning his natural seeds into GMO seeds.
wow,
Because we know, and this over space, it's not like a mile away, miles. It's like a virus inside the dirt spreading and infecting other seeds. So the dirt is poison and the air is poison. They
mm,
basically cut off the supply chain of us being able to heal ourselves through the
right,
ground. Not
right,
only that,
right,
kill off the healers. They
right.
said, "Oh, you got it. Oh, you found some seeds and some clean dirt. Okay, we'll take care of that. And we're gonna bury you in the dirt along
Oh,
with the
damn,
seeds." You know what I mean? It's
right,
foul the way they think, man. But they are intentionally killing people. Population control. You got to think about all these things. Microsoft, Bill Gates, they don't need humans anymore. They're creating robots to replace humans. They could stand
right
to
about that,
lost about 3 or 8 million humans.
right, right about that, bro.
Yeah, so they choking off the air, choking off the dirt, any way that we can help ourselves. This is a war, man. And we got to stop warring. You got blacks warring against the rednecks, and some people against the Asians, and
Yeah, tell me,
yo,
tell me, tell me, what do you think about that? What do you
mhm.
think about that issue that took place when your boy 45 when he called himself trying to rally up the troops to get them to take that march up at the building in DC and
I,
wild out.
I've been saying for the last couple of years, it's going to be insurrection or some kind of not necessarily a race war, but something that happens because like we know rednecks aren't all stupid. They know that they have the mentality of a patriot, but the Constitution, this whole system needs to be torn down and reconstructed. When that Constitution was put together, there wasn't Japanese Americans, there wasn't all of these like Indian American. Right now, America's a melting pot. You know what I'm saying? That Constitution was written just for white men. It wasn't even for women. Women didn't white women didn't even have rights back then. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was designed for one set of people, just white Caucasian men. That was it. Not even white women. So that's an old manuscript. Can you imagine buying a car right now and you a Mitsubishi or something, and the manual inside of it is from 1940,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
from
yeah.
a Model T Ford or something.
Crazy,
Like, wait a
crazy.
minute, this is outdated. I can't use this. I need to step into the future and the futuristic thinking.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as with
You know what I think? I think that if when I looked at this, I'm saying,
mhm,
okay, I remember when black people out here in Charlotte were gonna march,
mhm,
right? And I'm sure this probably took place pretty much anywhere in the United States. Black people were gonna march, you know, for some of the latest killings that had taken place.
right,
They had these police all over downtown, man.
mm,
I mean, you know, they wanted to make sure they tried to control the situation,
right,
right? Black people were gonna march in New York. They wanted
mhm,
to make sure they got all these police around to control the situation, right?
right,
Because it's niggas marching.
mhm,
Okay, in their minds, that's So you got places in all over the United States where if we come together and we're trying to march against something that isn't right, and we want our voices to be heard,
mhm,
law enforcement is going to be there to try to control the situation,
right,
right? Not only them, but your Negro preachers and everybody else that loves massa. Okay,
mhm,
they're all going to be there to try to control the situation, right? But
mhm,
these white folks and some blacks that were part of it, but mostly white. A lot of them were in law enforcement. A lot of them were in the military.
right,
A lot of them were currently in law enforcement and currently in the military. They go up here. You could barely see a security officer. You see the police that were there, but it was very little. They had very little to work with. Why was that the case?
say the truth, brother. Not much has changed, even from Malcolm X said that the Panthers and all of that. You get an organization like the Panthers, it's an insurrection. Public enemy, they were even labeled public enemy number one. Is an uprising, is a black militant force. Anything
But
that black
wasn't that an uprising?
was
Look
that,
at did you see all the white folks that was out there?
that's a difference though. See, when you get a bunch of white people together, those are patriots. You know what I mean? You could take 10 white people and put them in the same color suits and let them walk down the street. Automatic, you're not thinking a threat. Let 10 black people or 10 black brothers put on the same color. Hell, it could be pink. It don't matter what it is. But let's say if it's black, you get now they're a threat. People will be like, what they about to do? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Think about Jews. If you got 10 Jews, Hasidic Jews walking down the street wearing all black with black hats, do they look like a threat? Nope. Because subliminally in our
Yeah. No.
minds, yeah, we know,
I don't know what they're about to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But
they're gonna have JDL on us. The Jewish Defense League will be like,
yeah,
what
you
the
know what I'm
heck?
saying?
But if you take 10 black brothers with black jackets and black hats, we could dress up just like the Jews. You could
Yeah.
take 10 black Jews,
But
Hasidic
we look
Jews.
like the threat though.
Yes. Now that's because that mentality's been bred into society for years. Same mentality as this, a rat. If we see a white lab rat, they'll be like, oh, look at the cute rat. You see a black rat, first thing you're gonna do is get a fucking hammer and try to smash it. Now that's you're gonna see it as a threat. But
Well,
that kind of mentality has been bred into society for hundreds of years.
mhm.
So when you see a bunch of white people, like I said, they're gonna see patriots. Oh, they heroes. They're doing what their forefathers did.
I
We
mean, I even saw on the video, they even opened the gate for some of these people to come all up in there to the building. Not the one. I mean, they opened it,
Yep.
and I'm like, yo,
It's a
I
different
can
mentality.
imagine. I can only imagine if we all got together and said we was gonna do the same thing.
Right. Man,
What
they
would have
probably
happened?
dropped,
They
they
would
would
have
probably,
had. They would have had the army. They
yeah,
would
they
have had the
dropped a bomb on that whole
Air Force.
situation.
They would have had the freaking Ku Klux Klan. Everybody would have been up
Everybody. Right.
there. Okay. Before we could even before we even go down the block, they'd be up there.
Once again, like you mentioned, the Ku Klux Klan, have they ever been raided and dismantled like they dismantled and killed Fred Hampton in his
Yeah.
bed, assassinated any Ku Klux Klan
That's
members?
because the people who help to maintain the system, they're a part of that same system.
That's why I say it's like a condemned building and it needs to be torn down to the foundation and rebuilt. If you had Ku Klux Klan members, racists, all kind of people putting constitutions, slave owners, putting this all together, it doesn't understand the logic that if you want a fair,
Yeah.
really liberal society, that you got to start back to the. That's like if some drunk contractor built your house, a crackhead, alcoholic contractor built your house and all your beams are crooked. You got to tear it down. You know what I'm saying? Something was wrong with that man. You
Yeah.
don't bring your children in there to live. You tear it down, refound it, put another foundation,
So this
solid,
country, what
build
you're
it back
saying
up.
is this country
You got a strong structure.
the system needs to be torn down, needs to be destroyed and rebuilt
Yes.
from the
But
ground up.
now this is the thing. They divide and conquer us. We're fighting the rednecks, the white people fighting us, the Indians are fighting like everybody. That's the don't look at the man behind the curtain because that's the real problem. Don't look at the system. We'll hand you a quick $1,400 check, a pacifier, putting a pacifier in the baby's mouth. We'll see how long that works. And then we'll cause another insurrection or division, or like they tried with the George Floyd situation. We'll create racial tension. They're going to either create racial tension and divide the society because everybody's thinking now. Fear makes you think. With
Listen.
this
We never really talked about the George Floyd situation. I mean,
right,
we haven't done it as of yet, but at some point, we're going to get into that,
definitely.
that by itself. But from
Mm-hmm.
what I saw, and I think you and I talked about this,
Mm-hmm.
I watched the whole video, and I really, was focusing on
Mm-hmm.
how he put his knee on his neck, and he just sat there on it, even while the man was letting him know how much he was, uncomfortable, he was suffering, he couldn't breathe. You even have people that were saying that, yo, what are you doing? Like, get off him, whatever, whatever. He,
Cruel.
he still didn't care. And I think a lot of that had to do with Colin Kaepernick and the way some white people feel
Symbolic.
about Colin Kaepernick taking a knee.
Right.
Now, check this out.
Mm-hmm.
He was the reason why Colin Kaepernick took a knee. And this is what you have a lot of white people, racist white people, they don't want to confront this reality. So they want to try to turn it into him disrespecting the flag. He wasn't disrespecting the flag when he took a knee. He took a knee because you got people like this dude that exist on the police force. This is why he took a knee. And there's and he reflected a system that's in this country, a system that supports people like him.
Right.
They reward you when you do stuff. They reward you in their own way. This is why Colin Kaepernick took a knee.
Yes, indeed.
He didn't take a knee because he was disrespecting the flag.
Not at all.
I mean, how stupid does that sound?
They tried to twist the narrative. Yeah, but that's the
And
trick.
so this dude decides he wants to take a knee
Right.
on a black man's neck.
Exactly.
Come on, man. I mean.
But you know what? There's counterparts like yin and yang. You have sharks and you have goldfish. You have yin and yang. You have good and evil. You have wet. You have dark. You have light. That's the counterpart. An example of the counterpart of the righteousness Kaepernick was displaying, and the pure hatred and evil that he was that.
And he wasn't violent. Kaepernick wasn't violent. It wasn't like he went out there and started, shooting white folks or whatever. He just said, look, I'm going to take a knee against police brutality. I'm going to take a knee because it's not right to kill black people and then get a vacation. Kill
Mm-hmm.
black people, get a paycheck. You know, kill a nigga and become a
Same thing with the
kill
Vietnam
a
War.
nigga and become a millionaire. You know, that's what they do to the families now. They kill
Right.
your son, your husband, your daughter, and then give you a check, give you some
Right.
shut up money. You know, so now you on TV talking about we all need to get along and everybody's the same color, all this other stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Classified Rodney King. Paid him off, come up with a slogan. Can't we all just get it? No, we can't get along. That's still what 30 years later, 40 years.
Right.
Same thing is happening. Worse, it intensified. And brothers and sisters that think like that and go on camera spewing that nonsense is counterproductive and counter revolutionary. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, what needs to happen to me is,
Mhm.
in my thought process, is that the system itself needs to be changed. The
Yes.
system itself, and some people might say, well, how do you change the system, bro? How do you? Well, it's not an easy thing to change the system. Why? Because this is a system that's been in effect for many, many, many years. Okay, you going way back to when slavery and just atrocities took place with our people.
Right.
This system has been in effect, and the only way to overturn this system
Mhm.
is to change laws.
Yep.
You got to change laws in order to overturn it, and you got to be
Now system
consistent.
as well.
Yeah, you got to be consistent with the punishments out there. You can't change a law and then turn around and reward people. The police in particular, law enforcement has to know that you cannot treat people this way and reward officers.
Right.
You can't do that, man. That is not right.
That's the way the system is
You know
set
what
up.
I'm saying?
That's the way the system is set up. They
And you
reward.
got you got a lot of people in that profession, police unions and all these people. These dudes, they gangsters, man. You know what I'm saying? And then you're trying to overturn what they feel comfortable with. After a while, they're gonna start turning on you
Yep.
because
Because
they feel uncomfortable about the fact that you're trying to change the system around. You're trying to do what's right.
you stopping their livelihood and money flow. They're that's like trying to pickpocket a psychopath and he catch you. There's psychopaths and sociopaths with families and pensions and all of these different things. They're not going to let that money go. They're
But
going
but
to
but if you're interested in doing what's right, why is it that when you want to do what's right, here you come talking about no, don't do what's right?
mm-hmm,
I mean,
right.
it's a battle. It's a constant battle between right and wrong.
But see, but that's my opinion. I was thinking about it the other day. We have internal affairs. Well, I don't know how crooked or how pristine they are, but they should be part of the hiring process, not just the firing process.
Right.
Investigate the background of these police before you put them in minority, what they call minority ethnic areas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See what their value system is. Go back to their history in school. See if they used to fight Asian people or black people all the time. See if
Right.
their activities led them to be what, or see what community they grew up in. You know what I mean? They do it with us. They be like, oh, he grew up in Queensbridge. Oh, he probably got a hood mentality. They're not going to tell you, but your application will probably be kicked back. They're not going to make you
Yeah.
with certain things, certain
We
factors.
know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. They'd be like, yeah,
Yeah.
Queensbridge don't produce punks. like,
Right.
for the
Right.
most
Right.
part, you're going to be some kind of tough guy. At least hold your own or have a different mentality from being out there. Yeah, I don't know how aware a lot of racist white people or whatever they're formed, but they know they've been doing studies that because they do infiltrate the clan as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
they've been there.
have an idea or the mind state, and also with your IRL, whatever the thing is on your computer, if they had any activities dealing with clan or with the grand high wizard dragon of the Ku Klux or whatever, then they're You can still make them a cop, but put them in their white areas. That's a conflict of interest. If you know that's in their history, do investigations. For Christ's sakes, your internal affairs or you the police, but the police set the platform and the stage for these sociopaths and psychopaths to be employed. Could you imagine I was an employment agency
Right.
and I was hiring pedophiles to work in daycare centers? I
Mm,
need to get fired. I need to be incarcerated along with the pedophiles.
right.
I'm guilty. I'm guilty and an accessory before the fact. Before they even touch these kids, I'm opening the door for them.
Right.
Like I said, the whole system, the what do you call it? De not devaluing. This whole new term, not financing the police. And yeah, it has to be torn down completely to the ground and then reconstituted with
That's what I think. I think it needs to be totally vamped out and rebuilt. And
no
and
doubt.
that's one of the only ways you're gonna try to change what's going on. But
Not a cancer, but you
you're
got
gonna have to
to.
also, while you're tearing that up, you gotta tear up the people that's a part of the wrong. They
Right,
have to be eradicated. You gotta get rid of that.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't get rid of it, then the same things are gonna keep going on again and again and again. And we're not going to have no real change like everybody claims they want,
Mhm.
you know.
But you know
And
why? Like
to me, I just think it's a cycle that keeps repeating itself because there are people that want the cycle to continue.
but some of it's gonna change, but you know what? We got a lot of the people still alive. Like with Nazi, what happened with Hitler? Every once in a while, every country around the world went and snatched up the scientists. One of Hitler's scientists probably developed COVID. You know what I'm saying? They probably sent them over there to Wuhan or to China so they could blame it on the Chinese or the Asians. But we have a lot of Hitler's sick scientists. They changed their names from German
Right,
names and gave them American names and put them to work over here doing sick experiments with human eradication and biological weapons and stuff. Hitler
right,
was working on that back in the 40s. You know what I'm saying? So
right, right, right.
so um basically, yeah, it just comes down to is the same thing and the same thing going on. There is really it got to be torn down and reconstructed. When you look at the police force, what did it start? It started a slave catching force. The whole foundation of all these things are sick. You know
Right,
what I'm saying? But when we tear it down, you got to tear down the courts, the police, the penal system, the incarceration, the whole structure, all of it. I'm not saying you just release a bunch of murderers and killers on the street, but it has to be revisited, and basically there should be more schools than there should be prisons. You know what I mean? But once
right.
again, that's jobs. A lot of and like um, wine dance or whatever, all those states upstate, those are jail states. You got drift, you got to go up into the mountains to serve time. You know what I'm saying? Those are those aren't black towns. Those are white towns.
Yep.
Those are towns when the politicians get elected, they say we're going to go at low level crimes. When they say that, they're basically saying we're going to supply more jobs to your white people upstate.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to lock more niggers and Puerto Ricans and Hispanic people up and house them, warehouse them. And we're going to need core craft. We're going to need more uniforms built. We're going
Right.
to need more handcuffs built.
So
That's
there's
stimulate.
there's a system, and within that system there is employment.
That's their ongoing stimulus package, locking up blacks and Hispanics, just
Yeah.
creating jobs for them. You know what I'm saying? Warehousing, take us from our families, warehouses, lock us up from when you locked up, when they kidnap you. Basically, they call it bail, but it's just ransom. From the time they take you, release you back to your family, and lock you back up, and all of it's financial. You got to think back in the days when slavery was going on, there was no brothers and sisters doing bids. That's because they were property already. When you go to
Right.
jail, you're property of the state. You revert back to a state of slavery. You
Right.
become property of that state. They didn't need to do that to us back then. They
Right.
created bogus laws and what is it called, peonage, where they
Right.
went for false charges and crime and make you do time, and then you got to go dig ditches. I-95 was dug from the blood, sweat, and tears of innocent people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That they was like, hey, I remember you, boy. You owe me $5,500. Sir, I never met you before. I don't, yes, you did. Stop lying, nigga. And
Yeah, yeah,
their cousin or their uncle who's a judge signed a paper and now you're property again. There's a lot of things that was unspoken about that happened after the supposed liberation of slaves. Would you ask me? It never happened, and that's why we got the same thing still going on in this
still
country.
going on
Slavery
today.
was never abolished.
Right.
Like I'll be saying, the Emancipation Declaration, a declaration is to is to basically make a statement. I could declare I'm the king of Brooklyn right now. Does that make me the king of Brooklyn?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, ratification, changing a law makes it
Mm.
official as
That's
to
right.
what works, not just stating something or declaring something.
Right.
So, and we will also declare 3/5 of a man. When has that been legally, acknowledgeably changed? That's why white people can march up on the Capitol and we can't.
Right.
We'll go home and go to the hospital full of bullet holes.
There you
Because
go.
the same way a dog can get shot down in the street, like we're probably, if you get a totem pole, like if you look at like even a Mexican that's not a citizen or
Mhm.
whatever, if they get ran over or shot, God forbid, I don't know the full law, but you're either not going to get the same amount of time or you might not get any time because they're not documented. You're like, oh, they're not supposed to be here anyway. Killed who? You didn't kill anybody. I don't know. I would hope that they have more rights than that. But I've heard too, Native Americans are being killed in Alaska, certain point, and disappearing, and nobody's facing charges because these are Europeans that's
And
doing
it's true.
crimes against them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there is a value system on lives here, and it shouldn't be because this is a melting pot. I don't care whether you document it or not. You're
And
still a
see,
human
and
being.
right. And see, our lives, when we say Black Lives Matter,
Mhm.
it's not because the Black Lives Matter movement came along, because we knew Black Lives Mattered a long time ago. Ask Malcolm X, ask Martin, ask Stokely Carmichael. Ask these people. They knew Black Lives Matter. So this is nothing new.
Right.
So
No.
for you to come along and say Blue Lives Matter and all this other crap, White Lives Matter, that's retarded.
First of
Okay,
all,
because you don't even face what we face here. You
you know
know,
what it is? All throughout, they done stole our culture, stole our history.
right?
All of a sudden, they Jews, they the Olmecs or whatever. They just steal. They steal people. They stole our ancestors. Now they just stealing our slogans. It's just another pattern of what they do. We can't even come up with a saying and have it. No, they got to put a different twist on it. Oh, it's ours. Like, come
Yeah,
up with
well,
your
see, it's this thought that by now we all should be treated equal, and if we say something, then it's, oh well, you guys are still, you're still with this racist stuff, and no, we're not still with the racist stuff. You're still with this system
right,
is still with the racism and
right.
hatred towards people of color. But it's like every time we say something about it, if we address it and bring it to the table, you want to try to accuse us
But
of being racist.
you know what that mentality is like? Think like this: when they were trying to save the bald eagles, you know why? Because it's an endangered species. They were killing too many. Like how the buffalo disappeared.
Mm,
Europeans came to kill all the buffaloes.
mm,
They started taking notice. Damn, there's not a whole lot of bald eagles left. Let's stop killing them. Same thing is happening to black men. Black men not going home and raising their children, their families. You know what I'm saying? So what if we as black people would have said, fuck that, fuck the bald eagle. I see what I'm gonna shoot it and eat the motherfucker just like fried chicken. You know what I'm saying? All birds matter. How about we would have did all of that dumb shit? You know what I'm saying? All birds matter. If all birds don't matter, fuck the bald eagle. But that's that's the mentality. You know what I'm saying? Fuck a black, but we don't care if he go home or not. Blue lives matter. We endangered. Y'all is not the same situation. There's a crisis in the black community because they're allowing predators to come in and kill us. They're hiring psychopaths and sociopaths to come kill us. It's not the same. You don't have to be a cop. Go home and be safe. We're
right.
trying to get home and we're getting slaughtered and killed. There's a big fuck a blue life. You know what I'm saying? Really deep down, if you want to be safe, that's like me going into the ghetto with money hanging out my pocket, say, "Oh, I'm a victim." Go the fuck home and put the money in the bank. You won't be a victim. You know what I'm saying? If you scared because you stopping somebody in a car with their kid and shit, then you shouldn't be a cop. Go home, pussy, and be a coward.
See, but here's what cracks me up. How you scared of us, right? See, you don't you got so much protection,
Mhm.
this shield of protection that you need when it comes to coming in our community.
Right.
But when you go in white people community,
Yep.
you don't behave the same way.
Mm-mm.
You don't behave the same way. You need all this training when it comes to dealing with black people. But when it comes to white people, if you I've seen clips of white police officers getting into fights with other white police, with other white boys. Fist fights, one on one. Nobody dies. Everybody gets to go home, right? Or get arrested. Well, however it's working. But every time when it comes to us, everybody got all these complications. So
Funny,
I mean,
a lot of it is not a lot of these white people's fault. They're taught racism just as much as we're taught to fear the black rat and love the white lab rat. It's cute. That the white one is cute, like a black cat. We see a black cat run across our mind. You can have a Holy Ghost. You could be a Buddhist, whatever. Oh shit, that's bad luck. So you hypocrite. You either believe in God or you believe in luck. Like you know what I'm saying? But that those superstitions and all those things, those racist thoughts are implanted into our mind. You ask me, I got to go at the Roman Catholic Church. They the one that did the Holy Domini Sanctu whatever, and said go over to Africa and start collecting Negroes because they don't have a soul. You know what I'm saying? They
mm,
put out this propaganda making it okay to start putting us in chains and shackles like beasts of burden and locking us up. And matter of fact, they treat their animals better than because I put it like this: if a horse, you look at the old westerns, if a horse or a dog fell down, you think they would lean or kneel on the dog or the horse's neck or just let it sit? Out of mercy, they'll put an animal down and put it out of his misery. But when you see what happened to George Floyd, that makes it evident like, damn, you care more about animals than you even care about us. So we say
exactly.
Black Lives Matter, but you still got a problem with that? Like I said, that's like saying fuck the bald eagle. You know what I'm saying? Like we're a dying breed, but it don't seem to matter to you. How about that? I bet they would lock one of us up if we showed catching a bald eagle and frying that shit. Deep fry a bald eagle, you go to jail. They need to put that same level of price on our heads. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
First of all, when you're in custody, even whether it's child custody or civilian custody, the word custody means care. That
Mm.
means that cop is supposed to give his life to get you to the process where you see the judge. They're not doing their jobs, bro.
No, they
They,
can.
they're not doing their
They
jobs.
can.
Custody means safety. You can look up the word. It don't mean I'm gonna kill this nigga at a
And
traffic stop.
trust me, not every police officer is like this. You're not
No, no.
saying every cop is like, but a lot of y'all are like that. There's a lot going on. And again, a lot of this happens because there is no accountability. The system that they work for, the engine that they work for, does not hold them accountable the way they should be held accountable.
And,
Okay? And if you hold them accountable, a lot of this will be eradicated. But because you don't want to hold them accountable the way that they should, you want to keep this going. Why? Because you want to keep us in that fear mode, and you can't even defend yourself against an officer who's trying to harm you. You can't even defend yourself.
right.
So I gotta stand there and just let a cop whip my ass,
Mm-hmm.
or damn near kill me
Right.
in order to prevent myself from going to jail, or you might even try to charge me anyway, any doggone way, and put me in jail.
Once
Like,
again, needs to be looked at in the hiring process. Go back to school records. See if this kid was a bully. If there was reports of him
yeah,
not even picking on other ethnicities, but his own ethnicity. He has a violent nature. He has an aggressive
right.
nature. No, this is probably not the job for you, sir. Oh, we'll put you on a probationary period around your own people or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I
You don't
just, I just, I just feel like COVID was kind of, it was a terrible thing,
Mhm.
but in a way, it kind of sort of created this distraction
Yes.
from what is really a serious ongoing problem. Look at the other brother. I think his name was Ahmad Aubrey. And look,
Yeah.
look, we're gonna get into that next time. Because when I saw that video, dog, I was like, are you kidding me, man? Are you kidding me?
Like they were hunting. They went Negro hunting.
Oh man.
In their
Are
minds,
you
like they go
kidding me,
duck
man?
hunting.
I was so PO'd by that, dog. I saw that. I was like, this dude, they hunted him down and
Yep.
killed him. Period. I mean, we're gonna talk about that.
But making a quick footnote on that, you got to look at because I'm being back and forth in the South. Not that you don't have other ethnic people that do it, but they be out teaching their kids how to hunt and trap. I still don't know why drug dealers call themselves trappers, but they're real trappers. They
Mhm.
trap and kill animals in the woods. Like if there wasn't be a revolution, our people would suffer because we don't know, we don't train our children or ourselves how to survive and off the land, how to trap, how to kill animals. They'll shoot Bambi in the head in a second. You know what I'm saying? At 5 years old, they got proper aim. But the nature of some of them is to be able to hunt, to kill, and to snap the necks of whatever they kill and to fry it, cook it, fricassee it, do whatever they got to do. From step one to step two, they know how to kill. It's in their nature historically to hunt, to kill, or whatever. Not saying because we are people, every ethnicity, everybody has to eat. But I see it on a large scale, especially in the South. Wake up in the morning, if that kid don't got to go to school, they're loading up, putting on the camouflage gear, and going into the woods.
Yeah.
So they got no problem with the nature. So you take that kid that his pops always took him, showed him how to kill Bambi and little rabbits and skin them alive and do all this stuff, hang them up and make beef jerky out of them. You think that mentality? I'm not saying with all, it doesn't create a negative psychotic image or state of mind in all people that do that.
Mhm.
But you sure as hell ain't gonna have a problem taking a human life if you can kill Bambi. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bambi.
I mean, when dog, telling you, we gonna speak on that on the next one because
Mhm.
again, that made it that annoyed me highly. Like it's just another one. Like y'all just certain people feel like they could just do this at will,
But that's what I'm saying. That's the nature, brother. Look at what
do
happened to
that will, and then bounce like whatever.
look at what happened to the buffalo. They will exterminate something just like the bald eagle. That's why they have duck hunting season because their nature is just to kill. In some, now, I'm not going to say all,
Mhm.
but if they just hunted ducks willy nilly, we'd never see another duck again. But they need to put that same price tag on Black lives. That's why we come up with these saying. Now, if you make it illegal to kill a Black person, you'll go up in front of Congress or whatever because we are an endangered species, which we are becoming now. It's evident with everything that's going on, and be like, I don't know if you're a cop, you are whoever or whatever you are, because the Black man in America, North America, is an endangered species, and you're not gonna do regular time. We catch you doing it, even if it's black on black, you're gonna get an extra 20 or 30 years put on your shit automatically.
Yeah,
Like,
and that's another thing. Like I
mhm,
said, we gonna talk about this in another
mhm.
yeah, because not only do we have to look over our shoulders with us, we gotta look over our shoulders with police and other forms of hate
Everybody.
towards us. And
Racism is global.
you know,
We hate ourselves.
we got a lot to deal with, brother. We got a lot to work with. Let me speak on this. March 27th through the 28th, 5835 Executive Drive. We have the Mental Health Expo, which is going to be held by I think this is being set up by Joy Cook. Um, this is going to be March 27th through the 28th. Um, this is going to be focusing on mental health and how it has an effect and how do men handle mental health. You know how this has different effects on us, the stress levels. They're going to have some speakers there as well. Again, this is going to be held March 27th to the 28th. This is going to be very important. So I want everybody to make sure that you attend this. If you go on, the registration form is um is on my Keeping It 100 group page. So if you want, just scroll on my group page and you'll find this advertisement on there and register for the Mental Health Expo, which is going to be held March 27th through the 28th. And if you're in Charlotte, it's at 5835 Executive Center Drive. That's 5835 Executive Center Drive. How do men handle mental health? Okay. So make sure that you guys attend this. And you got any other announcements you want to make, brother, on your end?
No announcements per se. Just always a pleasure. Being on the show and speaking with you is a lot that we gotta make the public aware of, and this
Oh
is
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And for those who are in the Charlotte area, make sure you come by to the Given Boutique. Okay, it's in the No Dot area. I'm always forgetting the daggone address to that place, but I know how to get there. If anybody knows where Amelie's is, off of Davidson Street, North Davidson, just come on down. This is in the No Dot area. Just come on down to the Given Boutique. They have lots of clothing, lots of purses and bags and things of that nature. Um, Please make sure you check out my page as well. The Keeping It 100 group page. I have all that information there for anyone that's interested. Make sure you check it out. The Given Boutique. That's also ran by Miss Joy Cook as well. So make sure you check out my page, the Keeping It 100 group page, for more information on that as well. Okay. Um, Also, brother Henry Jackson and I, we're going to be getting into a series that's going to be coming up very shortly. It's going to be a very important series that I think um, everybody needs to tune in for. I'm not going to pretty much say what it is right now, but trust me, when it comes to us, people of color, we got to treat ourselves way better. It's 2021. We're going into 2022, and so on and so forth. And some of the same stupid things are happening that happened in the damn 90s and in the late 80s. Okay, when it comes to how we treat one another, we got to do better. You know what I'm
hopefully we can
saying?
have callers call in and give responses and opinions, on the relative topics as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely. And yeah, we definitely tell them about that, bro.
Yes, it'll be an option, or one that's necessary. Because
Hmm.
I have some people that disagree. I have something to add, or take away from whatever we're talking about, and you'll have that. It's good. It's all about keeping it 100, man, and giving people the freedom of opinion and speech.
Right.
So, hey, I mean, we might be dead wrong on some subjects, but it's good to see the other side of some, or get encouragement too. Like, brothers, y'all on the right path.
Right.
We want to hear what y'all thinking out there as well, which
That's
is
right. So
important.
make sure when you
Don't want
tune
it to be
in,
one sided. Hmm.
yeah, when you tune in, make sure you leave us some comments in the chat. And and we're going to be doing lives too. So it's going to be a mixture of recorded material, and then at times we're going to go live, and we're going to take comments. We're going to take suggestions, what have you, live. So just make sure that you tune in for that. Look out for that. But that series is going to be coming up very short. Okay, we have an author that I'm going to be speaking with. We're going to be talking about her experience and some of the traumatic issues that she faced coming up in her life. We're going to be talking to her. So we got a few things coming, and I want you guys to tune in. And it's just a conversation, y'all. I'm glad that we got this platform where we're able to talk. I mean, this is not Hollywood. We ain't trying to Hollywood nothing. We here doing our thing, and we just chopping it up, you know. But we trying to give you something to think about, before we get off here. I'm not trying to, take up all your time. I'm just trying to do something, Brother Henry. is trying to, make sure that everybody stays aware of what's happening out here, what's happening with us. So definitely tune in. We're going to be talking about some things, and we definitely want your input and we want your feedback. Okay, my man.
Yes, brother.
I'm
Always
glad to see you again, man.
always a good conversation.
Yo, yeah, man. It's been, man. I mean, we've talked here and there. It's been quite an experience on my end, going through things, and like I said, we just here in the Charlotte area, we just lost brother Joelle Odom. If you don't know about Joelle Odom, for some of y'all out there, that was a young brother who ran for mayor here in Charlotte. A couple of years back, man, and young brother passed away like suddenly. Peace to him. I met that brother. He was a very smart young brother, man. I mean, a lot of people knew him in the Charlotte area. Very smart, very, very, very aware of a lot of different things, and he wasn't afraid to stand up for what he felt was right. He spoke the truth when it came to certain things that he felt needed to be brought to the table. And I just want to say peace to his family, and rest in peace to brother Joel. I remember when he came to Fayetteville because Sister Joy had the Soldier Festival over there in Fayetteville, North Carolina, a couple of years back, and he came through. He actually came and stayed pretty much the whole time. Him and I think his brother Antoine, if I'm pronouncing his name, or brother Antoine, but he came through and he stayed. Man, we laughed, joked with him, and everything. And he was a very, very kind young brother, and I'm very bold, courageous kid. And I'm just very sorry that he had to leave us so soon. You know, so once again, peace to him and his family, and you know, just all of those out there who have faced some challenges, over the past year or so. Man. It's been rough. Been rough for a lot of people, bro. You know. But on that note, we're gonna say good night.
All right.
Peace to everybody, and we'll see you again. And next time when we see you, we're gonna chop it up some more. All right. You keeping it 100. Thank you for tuning in.
Peace.
Peace, man. Word.